Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! In the quiet dusk of the campus, Austin wandered through the crisp fallen leaves scattered on the quad. His thoughts lingered on his warm bed as he neared his dorm, having just endured an intense study session at the library. As he approached his room, he spotted his roommate, Olivia, through the window, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "Austin!" she called out, catching his attention. "I was just thinking of you." With that, she flashed a grin, revealing her scheme. "What now?" Austin asked, cautious yet curious, already anticipating a playful challenge. Olivia wasted no time, proceeding to brandish a hefty stack of papers. "Just printed the final draft, which means—" She trailed off, eyebrows raised expectantly. "Which means I lost the bet," Austin finished with a sigh. He ran a hand through his shaggy blonde hair. "All right, what's my punishment? Please tell me it doesn't involve streaking across the quad." "Nothing that extreme," Olivia assured him, though the glint in her eye was far from comforting. She got up and rummaged through her closet before emerging with a hanger. "You have to wear this for the rest of the day." Austin's eyes widened as he took in the garment dangling before him. A skimpy pink halter top that looked like it would barely cover his torso. "You can't be serious!" he sputtered. "There's no way that would even fit me!" "Oh, it'll fit," Olivia said confidently. "I bought it a size too big last summer. Come on, a bet's a bet!" Grumbling under his breath, Austin snatched the hanger from her.
"Fine, but I'm not leaving the room in this getup."
"Fair enough," Olivia conceded. "Though I bet you'll change your mind once you see how good you look." Austin rolled his eyes as he ducked into their shared bathroom to change. He peeled off his hoodie and t-shirt, shivering slightly as the cool air hit his bare skin. With a deep breath, he slipped the halter top over his head. The soft fabric settled against his chest and back, leaving his midriff exposed. He tugged at the hem, trying futilely to make it cover more. "You decent in there?" Olivia called through the door. "Let's see the big reveal!" Steeling himself, Austin emerged from the bathroom with his arms crossed self-consciously over his chest. Olivia let out a low whistle. "Damn, Austin, that looks way better on you than it ever did on me," she exclaimed, circling him with an appraising eye. "The color really brings out your eyes." "Ha ha, very funny," Austin muttered, though he couldn't help sneaking a glance in the full-length mirror on their closet door. He had to admit, the pastel pink was a nice contrast against his lightly tanned skin, and the cut of the top accentuated his lean swimmer's build in a way his usual baggy clothes never did. "I'm serious," Olivia insisted. "You should borrow my clothes more often. It's a crime to hide that body under shapeless hoodies all the time." Austin felt his cheeks flush at the unexpected compliment.
"Yeah, right. Like I'd ever willingly put on girls' clothes again after today."
But as the hours ticked by, and Austin grew more accustomed to the feeling of the soft fabric against his skin, he found himself relaxing. He even caught himself absent-mindedly running his fingers along the delicate straps while working on homework. When dinner time rolled around, Olivia announced she was heading to the dining hall. "You want me to bring something back for you?" she offered. Austin hesitated, fingering the hem of the halter top. A part of him was tempted to venture out, to see if anyone else would react the way Olivia had.
"Actually, I think I'll come with you,"
he said, surprising himself. Olivia's eyebrows shot up. "Really?" You sure? Austin nodded, a mix of nerves and excitement fluttering in his stomach. Yeah, why not? Might as well own it, right? They made their way across campus, Austin hyper-aware of every curious glance thrown his way. But to his amazement, most people barely seemed to notice his unusual attire. A few even smiled appreciatively as they passed. As they stood in line at the dining hall, Austin overheard a group of girls whispering nearby. He tensed, bracing for ridicule, but then caught snippets of their conversation. So brave, don't you think? Wish I had the confidence to pull that off. Totally rocks, that top. A warm glow of pride bloomed in Austin's chest. For the first time in his life, he felt truly seen. Not as the awkward, self-conscious guy who hid behind baggy clothes, but as someone bold and unapologetically himself. That night, as he reluctantly changed back into his normal sleepwear, Austin found himself already missing the feeling of the halter top. He tossed and turned, his mind buzzing with new possibilities. The next morning, he woke early and slipped out while Olivia was still asleep. He returned an hour later, laden with shopping bags. Olivia sat up groggily as he burst into the room.
What's all this?
Austin grinned, pulling items from the bags. I did some shopping. Figured it was time for a wardrobe update. Olivia's jaw dropped as she took in the array of colorful tops, skirts, and dresses spread across Austin's bed. Wow, you really took yesterday's dare to heart, huh? Austin shrugged, holding a floral sundress up to his chest. I don't know how to explain it, but wearing that top yesterday, it just felt right, you know? Like I was finally being true to myself. Olivia's expression softened. I think I get it. So, does this mean I should start using different pronouns for you? Austin paused, considering. You know, I think it does. Would you mind calling me Helena from now on? Helena, Olivia repeated, smiling. I like it. It suits you. Over the next few weeks, Helena's transformation continued. She swapped out all her old hoodies and jeans for an array of feminine clothing. Her favorite outfit quickly became a flowing maxi skirt paired with a fitted crop top that showed just a hint of midriff. As Helena grew more confident in her new identity, she decided it was time to broaden her horizons beyond campus. One sunny Saturday, she convinced Olivia to accompany her on a shopping trip to the nearby mall. I need some advice on makeup, Helena explained as they walked through the crowded food court. I've been watching tutorials online, but I still feel clueless. Olivia linked arms with her supportively. No worries, I've got your back. Let's hit up Sephora first. As they approached the brightly lit cosmetics store, Helena felt a flutter of nervousness in her stomach. What if the employees gave her strange looks or refused to help? But her fears proved unfounded. A cheerful sales associate named Jamie greeted them warmly, not batting an eye at Helena's appearance. Welcome, ladies. What can I help you with today? Helena cleared her throat. I'm, new to makeup. Could you maybe show me some basics? Jamie's face lit up. Absolutely. Let's start with finding your perfect foundation match, shall we? For the next hour, Helena soaked up Jamie's expert advice like a sponge. She left the store with a bag full of carefully chosen products and a head spinning with new knowledge about contouring, highlighting, and the importance of blending. You're a natural, Olivia remarked as they made their way to the next store. I've never seen anyone pick up techniques that quickly. Helena beamed, feeling a surge of confidence. It just feels so right, you know? Like I'm finally becoming who I was always meant to be. As the weeks passed, Helena's outward transformation was matched by an inner blossoming. She walked taller, smiled more freely, and engaged with her classmates in a way she never had before. Even her grades improved as her newfound self-assurance spilled over into her academic life. One crisp autumn day, Helena was hurrying across campus to her afternoon lecture when she quite literally ran into someone. Papers went flying as they collided, and Helena found herself sprawled on the ground, her skirt tangled around her legs. "Oh gosh, I'm so sorry!" a deep voice exclaimed. Helena looked up to see a tall, handsome guy with kind brown eyes extending a hand to help her up.
"Are you okay?"
Helena felt her cheeks flush as she accepted his help. "I'm fine, thanks. It was my fault. I wasn't watching where I was going." The guy smiled, revealing a set of perfect white teeth. "Let's call it a joint effort. I'm Ethan, by the way." "Helena?" she replied, smoothing down her skirt. "Nice to meet you, Ethan." They chatted for a few minutes as they gathered Helena's scattered notes. As she turned to leave, Ethan called out, "Hey, would you maybe want to grab coffee sometime?" Helena's heart skipped a beat. Was he asking her out? She turned back with a shy smile. "I'd like that." That evening, Helena burst into her dorm room, practically vibrating with excitement. "Olivia, you'll never guess what happened!" Her roommate looked up from her textbook. "Spill the tea, girl!" Helena flopped onto her bed, hugging a pillow to her chest. "I met a guy, and I think he likes me!" Olivia squealed, abandoning her studies to join Helena on the bed. "Details now!" As Helena recounted her meet-cute with Ethan, Olivia listened with rapt attention. When she finished, Olivia clapped her hands together gleefully. "This is huge! Your first date as Helena!" Helena's smile faltered slightly. "But what if he finds out about, who I used to be? What if he rejects me?" Olivia squeezed her hand reassuringly. "Hey, if he's worth your time, he'll accept you for who you are. And if he doesn't, then he's not the right guy for you. Simple as that." Helena nodded, feeling a mix of nervousness and anticipation. "You're right. I just need to be honest with him from the start." The next afternoon, Helena met Ethan at a cozy off-campus coffee shop. She'd spent hours agonizing over her outfit, finally settling on a pretty floral dress in shades of pink and cream. As she approached their table, Ethan stood to greet her with a warm smile.
"You look beautiful,"
he said, pulling out her chair. Helena blushed, smoothing her skirt as she sat. "Thank you. You look nice too." They fell into easy conversation, discovering they had several classes and interests in common. As they finished their drinks, Ethan suggested a walk through the nearby park. As they strolled along the tree-lined path, their hands brushed against each other. Ethan tentatively intertwined his fingers with Helena's, sending a thrill through her body.
"I'm really glad you agreed to go out with me,"
Ethan said softly.
"I've noticed you around campus for weeks, but I never had the courage to approach you until yesterday."
Helena's heart raced. It was now or never. "Ethan, there's something I need to tell you," she began, her voice trembling slightly. I wasn't always Helena. I was born..." Ethan squeezed her hand gently, encouraging her to continue. Helena took a deep breath. "I was born male. I only recently started transitioning. I understand if that changes things between us, but I wanted to be upfront about it." She held her breath, waiting for Ethan's reaction. To her surprise, He simply nodded and gave her a reassuring smile.
"Thank you for trusting me enough to share that," he said. "It doesn't change how I feel about you, Helena. I like you for who you are, not what you were born as."
Tears of relief and happiness welled up in Helena's eyes. She threw her arms around Ethan, hugging him tightly. "Thank you," she whispered. "You have no idea how much that means to me." As they continued their walk, hand in hand, Helena felt as though her heart might burst with joy. For the first time in her life, she felt truly accepted and loved for her authentic self. Over the next few months, Helena and Ethan's relationship blossomed. He was endlessly patient and supportive as she navigated the challenges of her transition, accompanying her to doctor's appointments and helping her research hormone therapy options. One evening, as they cuddled on the couch in Ethan's apartment watching a movie, Helena found herself reflecting on how far she'd come since that fateful day she lost a bet to Olivia.
"What are you thinking about?"
Ethan asked, noticing her pensive expression. Helena smiled, snuggling closer to him. "Just how grateful I am for everything that's happened. If you had told me a year ago that I'd be sitting here like this, comfortable in my own skin, with an amazing boyfriend who accepts me for who I am, I never would have believed it." Ethan pressed a kiss to the top of her head.
"You're the bravest person I know, Helena. I'm so proud of you for embracing your true self."
As the credits rolled on the forgotten movie, Helena tilted her face up to Ethan's. Their lips met in a tender kiss, full of promise for the future. In that moment, Helena knew with absolute certainty that she had found her place in the world. No longer hiding behind baggy hoodies and false pretenses, she was free to be her authentic self, and she was loved all the more for it. The next morning, Helena woke early, slipping out of Ethan's arms to stand before the full-length mirror in his bedroom. She studied her reflection, taking in the soft curves of her body, the gentle waves of her blonde hair falling past her shoulders. She smoothed her hands over the silky fabric of her nightgown, marveling at how natural it felt. A pair of strong arms wrapped around her waist from behind, and Ethan's sleepy face appeared over her shoulder in the mirror.
"Good morning, beautiful,"
he murmured, pressing a kiss to her neck. Helena leaned back against him, a contented smile spreading across her face. "Good morning?"
"Any big plans for today?"
Ethan asked, resting his chin on her shoulder. Helena's eyes lit up as she remembered. "Actually, yes! I have my first appointment with the endocrinologist this afternoon to discuss starting hormone therapy." Ethan's face broke into a wide grin. "That's fantastic, babe! Do you want me to come with you?" Helena turned in his arms, wrapping her own around his neck.
"I'd love that. Having you there will make me feel so much more confident."
They shared a tender kiss before reluctantly parting to get ready for the day. As Helena rummaged through the drawer Ethan had cleared out for her things, she pulled out a pale blue sundress she'd bought on a recent shopping trip with Olivia. "Is it okay if I leave some extra clothes here?" she asked hesitantly. "It would be nice not to have to pack a bag every time I stay over." Ethan paused in the middle of pulling on his shirt, his expression softening.
"Of course it's okay. In fact..."
He crossed the room to his dresser, opening the top drawer.
"I cleared out some space for you. I was going to surprise you with it later, but now seems like the perfect time."
Tears pricked at Helena's eyes as she took in the empty drawer. It was such a small gesture, but it spoke volumes about Ethan's commitment to her and their relationship. "Thank you," she whispered, pulling him in for another kiss. "For everything." Later that afternoon, Helena sat nervously in the waiting room of the endocrinologist's office, her fingers laced tightly with Ethan's. She'd opted for a simple outfit, a flowy white blouse tucked into high-waisted blue jeans, wanting to project a mature, put-together image. "Helena?" a nurse called, and she stood on shaky legs. Ethan gave her hand a reassuring squeeze. "You've got this. I'll be right here when you're done." The appointment went better than Helena could have hoped. The doctor was kind and understanding, patiently answering all of her questions and addressing her concerns. By the end of the visit, Helena had a prescription for hormone therapy and a follow-up appointment scheduled. As they left the office, Helena felt as though she was walking on air. "I can't believe it's really happening," she said, her voice filled with wonder. "This is the next big step in becoming who I've always known I was meant to be." Ethan pulled her close, pressing a kiss to her temple. "I'm so proud of you, Helena. You're the strongest person I know." To celebrate, they decided to have a picnic in the park where they'd had their first real conversation months ago. As they spread out a blanket under a large oak tree, Helena couldn't stop smiling. "You know," she said, unpacking the sandwiches they'd picked up, "a year ago, I never would have dreamed I'd be sitting here like this, living openly as a woman, starting hormone therapy, in a loving relationship. It all seemed so impossible back then." Ethan reached out to tuck a strand of her blonde hair behind her ear. "You've come so far, and I feel incredibly lucky to have been able to witness your journey." As the sun began to set, painting the sky in brilliant shades of pink and orange, Helena leaned back against Ethan's chest, his arms wrapped securely around her. She closed her eyes, breathing in the crisp autumn air and reveling in the feeling of complete contentment. "I love you," she murmured, the words slipping out naturally. She felt Ethan's arms tighten around her. "I love you too, Helena. More than I ever thought possible." In that moment, surrounded by the beauty of nature and the warmth of Ethan's embrace, Helena knew that she had found her true home, not just in her physical body, but in the love and acceptance of those around her. As they packed up their picnic and headed back to Ethan's apartment, hand in hand, Helena felt a sense of excitement for what the future held. She knew there would still be challenges ahead, starting hormone therapy, potentially pursuing gender confirmation surgery, navigating the complexities of a world that wasn't always understanding or accepting. But with Ethan by her side and a strong support system of friends like Olivia, she felt ready to face whatever came her way. That night, as she stood in front of Ethan's bathroom mirror, preparing for bed, Helena studied her reflection once again. She saw the same blonde hair, the same blue eyes that had always been there. But now, she also saw the woman she had always known herself to be shining through. With a small smile, she picked up her new bottle of estrogen pills, holding it like a precious treasure. "Here's to new beginnings," she whispered to her reflection, swallowing the first pill that would help her body align with her true self. As she crawled into bed beside Ethan, who was already half asleep, Helena felt a profound sense of peace settle over her. She knew the road ahead might not always be easy, but for the first time in her life, she was moving forward as her authentic self, and that made all the difference in the world.
Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!